Did the Austrian GP give us a little bit of a foreshadowing into the rest of the season? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Silverstone this upcoming weekend and everything you need to know before this weekend's British GP. This is Track Limits. I'm John, the motorsports enthusiast. Let's get into it. So this past weekend's race was absolutely phenomenal. I say that word a lot, but this race was absolutely what I was wanting to see from the McLaren guys. I wanted to see a different driver win, and I wanted to see if Lando could actually pull it off. Now, no doubt in my mind, Piastri was the best car. Absolutely the best car, the fastest driver out there, but he came in second. Now let's talk about the rest of the results, what the point standings looks like before we dive in to the Silverstone weekend. So Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, P1 and P2, with Leclerc, Hamilton, P3, P4, George Russell in P5, and then this is where it gets pretty interesting. So you have Liam Lawson, P6, amazing drive for him. Fernando Alonso, P7, great to see him back in the points. Then a double kick Sauber points day. Now, I don't know about you, but that did not surprise me, but the fact that they've been able to sustain this success over the past two races, pretty cool to see, especially with the rookie Bortoletto and Hulkenberg there, and then obviously Esteban Ocon finishing in P10. But when you look at everything from this race, obviously Max Verstappen got taken out by Kimi Antonelli. Sorry. I hate that as a Kimi fan. That changed how the complexion of the race fared out. You had Carlos Sainz going out early as well, with Albon's retirement too. So a lot of retirements this race. But looking at this race, I think that there is a chance to see a championship battle between Lando and Oscar that might heat up as this season goes on. Now let's look at a little bit of what the standings look at, because that is going to tell a picture this far into the season. So you have Lando Norris that is currently 15 points behind Oscar Piastri. And so with Lando's win, this could be a turning point in this season where I think we could see this championship battle start to kind of teeter between the two cars. Yes, Oscar had a better car, had a faster race, but Lando Norris was able to make less mistakes. And I think the big mistake that Oscar made was going into turn 4, I believe, where he lunged it in there, a little bit of a flat spot on the right front, and that just kind of set him back a little bit more. But Oscar Piastri is definitely the fastest. Then you have Max Verstappen sitting there roughly about 46 points behind Lando Norris. George Russell sitting 9 points behind Max Verstappen, and then Leclerc at 119 points, so sitting about 30 points, 25 to 30 points behind George Russell. And so what this does, and what this tells me, is that McLaren is still the team to beat. Ferrari's on the up and up. Red Bull is struggling. Seems like Mercedes could have something there, but the Ferrari's last upgrades definitely improved their results in Austria. But now let's talk about the British GP that's coming up this weekend. Now, this is a home race for a lot of different drivers. You have Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, Ollie Behrman, and Lando Norris. So can Lando Norris bounce back, or could we see maybe Lewis Hamilton jump on the podium? Well, let's talk about the entire schedule first. And so what you need to know for practices, qualifying, and the race. And this is going to be all in Eastern time, by the way. So you have practice 1 on Friday, July 4th at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time, with practice 2 starting at 11 a.m. Then on July 5th, you have practice 3 starting at 6:30 a.m. with qualifying on Saturday at 10 a.m., with the British GP officially starting on Sunday, July 6th at 10 a.m. And so looking at the circuit, you have 18 corners with 2 DRS zones. The first DRS detection point is between turns 2 and turn 3, with the activation zone between turn 5 and turn 6, with the detection zone 2 between turns 10 and 11, with the DRS zone 2 activation point between turn 14 and turns 15. And so this race, I'm going to be very curious to see how well these cars can handle, because you have a mix of hard left-handers, hard right-handers. You have a mix of straightaway speed, which you will need here with the 4 to 5 long straightaways. So you have a lot of different opportunities for drivers not only gain in the corners, but also gain on the straights. The race is going to be 52 laps with the circuit length at 5.891 kilometers. And looking at this race, you have a lot of different points to come in. So you have Ferrari that is going to be bringing upgrades as well. A lot of teams brought upgrades to Austria, and that's going to be the talking point. So thinking about that, but also thinking about what could happen if this race turns into a wet weather race. We need to look at that, because the weather forecast for this weekend, little questionable. So Friday, it looks like it's going to be slight precipitation dang it, I said it again, precipitation there, but about 10 to 20% chance. But then Saturday and Sunday should be about a 20% chance both days with light rain. What this is going to do is could be a little bit hard for the teams to determine their strategy, because if there is rain coming and it's light, the question is, do you stay on the hards or stay on the mediums, so you slick tires, or do you go to the inners? Because I don't think we'll need full wets. So the question is, can these teams survive on slick tires, or are they going to have to switch over to the inners? And it's going to be tough, because if it's a light rain, it's going to slightly dampen the track. We won't know. Now, in last year's British GP, we saw Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, and Lando Norris on the podium. And so not a great day for Ferrari at all. Could we see Lewis potentially, it sounds crazy, but win coming back to his home race? Just imagine Lewis's first win in a Ferrari coming at the British GP. And now you can't count out Max Verstappen, especially in the rain. And I think that's where you have to pay attention to Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton this weekend. If it does rain, those are, I think, the two best drivers in the wet right now. This raises Hamilton's chances of winning this race. We saw what happened in Australia, obviously strategy there, but Lewis knows how to drive in the wet, so does Max. I think you could see maybe Lewis Hamilton get on the podium this weekend. Now I need to talk about this weekend's Happiest of Them All award presented by Happy Hour Racing. If you haven't heard, Happy Hour Racing is one of the best stores online to find everything you want: NASCAR, Formula One, IndyCar, race win shirts, anything you want there on Happy Hour Racing. They got it for you, so go check them out. But this weekend's Happiest of Them All, it's going to be a little bit of a surprise, but I'm actually going to pick the driver who won Driver of the Day. It's going to be Mr. Gabriel Bortoleto. I think that this was a huge weekend for him, not only for the team, but for his confidence. And yeah, Lando Norris won. He's won before. I think you have to look at that. And I would say Liam Lawson possibly could fit in this category, but we've seen Liam perform. This is one of I guess, our second time seeing Bortoleto perform at a high level. And I mean, he almost got around his manager, Fernando Alonso, which was really exciting to see. So this past weekend's Happiest of Them All award is going to go to Mr. Gabriel Bortoleto there for the Kick Saubers. So this week I have to ask, who is your pick to win the British GP? I'm going to go on a limb here. I think we are going to see 3 Brits on the podium. I think it's going to be a mix, and I don't know who. Lando Norris, George Russell, give me Lewis Hamilton. I think it's going to be 1, 2, 3. I think we're going to see some parity there when it comes to the podium finishers. I think this is going to be a very strong race for Lewis. I think he has a car underneath him now that's a little bit better. I hate saying that as a Leclerc fan, but I think that this week could be a one for the British drivers. But I think any one of those 3 can win. Now, if Lando makes some mistakes, the probability goes up. He was perfect in Austria, so that is my podium prediction. So let me know your podium prediction this weekend. As always, my name is John, the motorsports enthusiast. Thank you for watching this episode of Track Limits. That's everything you need to know for this weekend's race at Silverstone. And let me know if you think that this could be a little bit of a turnaround as well for Lando Norris going into the British GP.